know anything from like 2022 forward, so just know.
Good afternoon and welcome to the September 15th, 2023 meeting of the Rotary Club of Beavercreek. I want to thank Pete Landrum and Alex Zaharia for greeting today, Eric Marcus and our exchange student Henry for our ticket master of duties, Beth, hand worker for setup and program assistance, our program committee, Pete Bales, Mark Weinstein, Mike Swick, and Jim Gundel, of course, for handling the website. Ask Denny Darby to come up for an invitation, please.
Well, good afternoon. Would you please join me in prayer? O Holy Creator, we are grateful for the privilege of training ourselves for service. Give us open minds and a clear understanding of a steady purpose to make most of our talents and lead us to the fields where our work can best serve our fellow countrymen. Amen.
Thank you, Denny. All right, Joe Jenkins, Secretary
Yes.
report.
So we are currently at 58% today. We have one guest, or actually two guests. My wife Amanda is here. And then my oldest son Gabe, he just graduated Beavercreek High School, and he is he has interest in helping us with the businesses. So I look forward to seeing what the Lord's going to do with them.
We have one more yet.
Oh yeah, no, no.
Okay. We have a guest, Melissa Quinn. This is her third time of joining us. She's a potential member from Sochi. Nice to meet everybody. Glad to be here.
All right. So normally we would have a Sergeant at Arms report, but I received late notice that our Sergeant at Arms and our alternate Sergeant at Arms are not available today. So I don't know if that's net positive or negative. We're gonna move into, so as we move into Happy Bucks, I'm gonna say there's no fines except everyone at the table gets a fine if there's not a happy buck from your table. So,
Come on, Jack.
we're gonna start at the secretary and treasurer table.
All right, so I got a happy five. So everyone knows that Don is running for Mayor of Beavercreek. So if you don't have a sign, please stop by and grab a yard sign. It's in your yard.
There you go. That's good.
So that was not him being generous. Political messages are $5. Whoa, all right. What do we got? Mike Cannon.
Well, first of all, I got a happy buck that there were no new member jokes for me since I haven't been here so long. I got a happy $5. My family and I did a 6-week national park tour along the northern route, the southern route. We covered 8,200 miles. Saw 12 different parks, lots of memories and lots of pictures. So it's awesome. Wow.
Other happy bucks here? All right, who we got here?
Okay.
It's at least one or all.
Me, so I had the pleasure of doing a follow-up Rotary Exchange visit to make sure that Henry's changing the bed. Okay. And he had a clean room. I'll pay money.
Good to hear. Thanks. All right, what do we got here? Derek's on his page.
I have a happy buck. I got back Wednesday from going up to New Hampshire to help my granddaughter celebrate her 21st birthday.
So we'll get back to Carrie here.
Here's Jim Rudd, together every single year. Set up, tear down organization, the storage, I just get them big.
Yep, thanks, Ken. Ed, you got happy bucks? No. All right. You need to get a break, Jack?
I have a happy buck because I was able to get this guy complete off.
I played poorly enough that I was barely able to be called, but it was a great time. And Frank Tapp used the chance to recruit a new member, so.
Yes.
All right, what do we got over here, gentlemen?
I have a happy buck.
Yep.
My sister's coming in from the Twin Cities to visit us with her family this coming week.
I got a happy buck. I'm going to Columbus to watch my grandson play his senior year football.
Again.
I'm just happy to be here.
Just donating, all right. Thanks, Bob. All right,
I think you need to do this every week.
all right. What we got here? We're coming. JD.
So I gotta, I'll say a happy, sad, sad, happy. I will not be able to join tomorrow with the service project because my son is working on his Ethan project tomorrow. Round the corner with that, so.
All right, absolutely.
Just real quick for the popcorn festival, these two guys, Jan, well, yeah. Shannon, he volunteers all the time for the popcorn festival. I don't think he gets enough recognition for it, but I wanted to thank him for what he does.
We would notice more if you wore brighter clothing.
Right.
All right. Who got it?
All right. I don't know how many of you talked to the man outside that's serving up all our food. But it's first time he's been back in a couple of weeks. He got married. But he was gone on his honeymoon, so big. I'm tempted to call him in here so we can. That's it. All right.
All right, no pressure on me at this table. I'm pretty happy that last week I passed around and put forward for volunteers for the Tour de Gem, and I'm happy to say everybody filled in slots. And thank you, Rotarians, for stepping up to help be a comfort station for the Tour de Gem. Second happy back is actually for Randy's daughter. She's plays soccer with my daughter, and she is the best goalie around, and we have so much fun watching her. And my third happy fact is that my husband gets to channel his inner Bill Donahue. So glad that we can do that.
Don't hate yourself with the Bill Donahue. Joe Jenkins is over here saying, "This is done." All right. What is a talk show? All right, so our ticket drawing, remember, half of the proceeds go to our Christmas basket. The ticket number is 956120.
That's me.
Oh,
Not
no,
really.
it is not.
Not really.
All right.
Hey, I was not the last to go in, I was like in the middle of the sun. Just don't get the Joker name up there. It's the Joker name. Hey, you know, hey, yeah, I'll talk with you.
Yeah, high pros, but he didn't draw a Joker. Okay. So, do we have any other announcements? It's got an announcement. So we got a Tour de Gem announcement, and still need some volunteers for tomorrow's work project, really shoveling and spreading mulch at one of the county or the city parks. Just text me or email me if you can join us, or just show up. We could use some help. And then, Carrie, I do appreciate you pointing out Jim's efforts. We have some information from the Popcorn Festival. We sold 372 bottled waters, which is a pretty good task since people were giving it away like 10 feet down the. We gave away free dog treats and water. The people who participated: Dave Brandenburg, Sandy Brubaker, Beth Capelli, Bob Kachoy, Charles Curran, the Cusack family, Dick Gould, Shannon Graham, Jay Huddleston, Beth Handworker, Amanda Hayes, Brandon Huff, Ed O'Shaughnessy, Fran O'Shaughnessy, Jim Rudd, Carrie Souter, Alex Saharia, and David Hayes also worked. Right, so thank you everybody for your contributions. And the organizing committee was Jim, Judge Capelli, and Carrie. So thank you for your efforts. Okay. So, in a wild week leading up to this, we had an angel agree to step in for our program here, as our original program presenter fell ill. And so we're happy to invite Christy Kettering up. Christy is part of a leadership and transformation program that she's excited to tell us about. So, Christy. Oh, and she said the only thing I had to say to introduce her was that she's your friend.
My name is Christine, I'm your friend. If you've ever heard Dr. John Maxwell talk, that's his little line. My name is John, and I'm your friend. Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having me. Let's see, I think it was Pete that arranged it, so he's a friend of mine. He and Dawn, I met about a year ago when I did a transformation table with Wendy Rogers and Chris McClure from Dayton, or the Beavercreek Chamber. And then Pete and Dawn participated. So the 5 of us spent about an hour a week for 6 weeks together. And boy, oh boy, did we get to know each other. It was really cool. It was really wonderful. So I appreciate them. Appreciate Rotaries. I'm not a Rotarian. I have 2 sisters, little sisters who are, they're senior Rotarians. And they love Rotary. I've learned a lot about Rotary from them. And God bless you guys for what you do for the community. I'm just so not surprised, but I'm so heartwarmed when I hear about all of the things that you guys do and the projects that you are involved in. So, in your busy lives too, you know, you're busy. But anyway, so what do we got here? Let's see, this just a little bit. Absolutely. So I can see my slides. Beth's gonna run my PowerPoint for me. Okay, transformation happens one table at a time. Greater Dayton transformation. This is a project that started about a year and a half ago, and we're working it in the Greater Dayton area. And I just want you guys to know, this is our little secret, okay? Ken and I live in Beavercreek, and I believe that Beavercreek is the greater part of Greater Dayton.
There you go.
But don't tell any other communities. Seriously. So, yeah. Beth, I want to get. All right, Beth. One more. How we get here? One more. There's something else on the screen too. Community transformation in Greater Dayton. Where did it begin? Yeah. With Dr. Maxwell, actually. I met him about 10 years ago. Started working as one of his coaches and started traveling with him when he started doing what's called country transformation. Has anybody ever read one of his books, Dr. John Maxwell? He's known for the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. He's actually written 100 books, okay? More than any other person writing about leadership in the world. He has sold 30 million copies, I think. Yeah, oh no, 30 million copies in 50 different languages. He's really a remarkable guy. He's from Ohio. He's actually from Ohio, loves Ohio. And right now he spends the majority of his time in Florida, but traveling the world, and then also, speaking for Fortune 500 companies and just training and working with his coaches too. So he's known for this saying, everything rises and falls on leadership. Everything, and I think, has anybody ever read any of Susan Scott's book too? Fierce Conversations. The breadcrumbs always lead to the CEO. Well, that's kind of like everything rises and falls on leaders, And leadership's influence. He really does believe that everybody has influence, everybody's a leader. The question is what kind, what kind of leadership. So he's kind of known for those statements. And then one that he's really kind of just really hung up on right now is this one. Vision without action is just a dream. We've all got these grand ideas. Everybody comes to him with grand ideas. But if you don't take action, you're just dreaming. Nothing happens until you act. That's what he says. But then he says, as he works with people, action without values is a nightmare. In other words, people are always trying to take action without laying a proper foundation of common values, common language, commonality, and really unifying around that, then take action. So that's you'll hear that a lot too. He also believes that collective impact and partnerships are what drive success in any area. So he is the master partner. He partners with communities, he partners with country presidents, he partners with corporations. He always says, Christy, one is too small a number to do anything significant, meaning grand. So he focuses on communicating with the top 10% of influencers in what he calls the 8 streams of influence. Am I standing your way, aren't So the 8 streams are arts and entertainment, business, government, religion, media, education, healthcare, and sports. Those are the 8 streams. And he connects, when he goes into a country, he connects with those top 10 influencers. And I know when we went to Costa Rica, we ended up going to the soccer federation. You know, my son played soccer and ended up playing 1 year for the Chicago Fire, and I'm texting my son saying, I'm at the soccer federation in Delaware. He was like, what? So anyway, but he realizes that those are the people, the leaders in these areas are hugely influencing culture. So that's who we work with. And his country transformation started in Guatemala. He's been there, I think they started 10 years ago. So now that country, you're gonna see a video I just mentioned about Paraguay and how the significance of his presence has really changing the culture of the government, the country, because it's changing the government and the leaders. So that's Guatemala, him, the Guatemalan president. This is all of the facilitators. Yeah, thank you. Anyway, I went to, with 200 of us converged on this capital city in Paraguay and spent a week there training all the leaders in those 8 streams of influence in Dr. Maxwell's leadership principles and the transformation table method. I think we trained thousands. They put me in, I don't know, I ended up at the embassy. Okay, so I wanted to show you this little video before we show it. This gal here, her name is Gabby Teasdale, she's a friend of mine. And what you're gonna see behind her happened because she met John and then said, John, I want to transform my country. I just, you know, Paraguay is so neat. And he said, well, you know, who do you know? And he said, do you know the president? And she said, no, but I'll get to know him. And she said, okay, well, when you get to know him, hook me up. Sure enough, she did. She met with the president. John and his team came down, fronted, did all the communication and talk about, okay, what does Paraguay want to do? What does the government want to do? What you're gonna see now is this is the Minister of Education in Paraguay, and John is his translator. And this is the result of her initial conversation with John saying, I want to transform Paraguay. It's really cool.
Hi, my name is John Maxwell, and I'm in Paraguay with the Minister of Education. This is one of the most important days in the history of this country. This is one of the importantes de la historia de Paraguay. And Minister of Education and part of that. El Paraguay es fuerte y joven, and strong and very sorry. We're today issue. A few minutes ago, Secretary of Education Eduardo and Gabby and myself signed an agreement to do training with all the youth and all the students in the country. Hace unos minutos atrás, nosotros, el señor ministro Gabriela y yo firmamos un acuerdo de hacer entrenamiento de liderazgo en todas las escuelas de Paraguay. Over 9,000 students, más de 9,700 escuelas. Will in their curriculum, en dentro del currículum, have values-based teaching. Para tener enseñanza a base de valores. I spoke with the cabinet. Yo hablé con todos los ministros, and we agree this can be one of the most significant days in the history of the country. Y estamos de acuerdo que este día es uno de los días de más significados de todo el país. Paraguay has made a very important decision. Paraguay ha tomado una decisión muy importante. They have decided to invest in their youth. Han decidido invertir en la juventud. They have decided that values training is the way to transform the youth of the country. Han decidido que a través de valores van a transformar la juventud del país. And in this auditory tonight, our superintendents, I will send to you, I get directors, cabinet members, I get the cabinet and thousands of the youth of this country. That will, in my view, the value space. Behind me, President is the future of this country. Is that beside me, is a leader who decided to make a difference. un líder que decidió hacer una diferencia. And now, ahora, I want you to hear from the students of the area. No quiero que ustedes escuchen de los ciudadanos de Paraguay, how excited they are. Están emocionados están about transformation in their country. Ahora que le damos información. Listen to my prayer. Coming.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it was really exciting.
Right.
So then we went to Costa Rica. And right now they've been in Dominican Republic, also Papua New Guinea and Panama. Just got back from Panama. 22 presidents have invited John to come to their country. 22. And so we're 9 in. 9 of the 22. Okay, this is something that I think might to give you another quick little insight into what country transformation looks like. But I tell you, community is not far. We just got back from Panama.
The first time I came to Guatemala, I came searching for answers as much as I had some kind of a transformation plan for the people, envisioning, casting, and looking to the future. The only way that vision can become clear is by starting to move. 10 years later, I've seen that over 10% of the population of Guatemala are in transformation tables, that we have over 1 million children guide the program. You're the hope of this country. Hearing from all of these cabinet members concerning the success of what's happening there. Honored to be here.
The honor is for us.
Yes.
The most fun. And it's I have to leave.
It's so nice to see you again, my friend. Hope of transformation that we started 10 years ago in Guatemala has now become the reality. So yesterday afternoon, unbeknown to me, I didn't know this was a total surprise. The Secretary of Education of Guatemala brought out the Secretary of Education for Panama. And they had been talking and working together, and she was trying to get her to set up values education in public schools here in Panama. And so they came on stage, and that Secretary of Education handed the baton off to the Secretary of Panama. But I said to myself, this could be one of the finest moments of leadership I've ever had. And why? Because I didn't direct it. It was contagious, and people were now acting as leaders and going way beyond me. When leadership is great, people start leading. And when people start leading, they start surprising you by the things that they're able to do. So between what the president said and what the Secretary of Education said in the afternoon, I wish every leader sometime in his or her life could experience the joy of seeing something so much bigger than myself, for sure, come to pass.
You can see those numbers. And Panama was next, and they had an amazing launch there in that country.
We'll see.
There we go. Yeah, many things in life. She's so good. She knew herself on any machine. Many things in life just happen, but positive change isn't one of them. Changing anything in our world requires someone to be the catalyst. John says that. We do good, but we do better together. That's another one of his Blackstone beliefs. And most communities don't lack desire or resources. He believes they just lack unity and focus. He thinks when we can focus and unify, there is no stopping what we can do together in a community or a country. So community transformation started in the Ozarks in Branson, Missouri. And that's the first community that they've launched. And they're doing these countries, but they're now doing community transformation projects. And they're coming alongside leaders in US communities who want to use their model to transform their community, bring leaders together to do good work. And so this was in the Ozarks, Branson, Missouri. Branson was really amazing. I did not go to that launch, but I know the people that are running it. It's amazing. Then from there, they went to Tupelo, Mississippi. I've never been there. Elvis down. But we did a community transformation project in Tupelo. I was there for the launch of that. 30 of us coaches went in throughout the city and just taught the transformation table method to leaders in that city. And so here's what we're trying to do in Dayton. Actually, a lot of the coaches that work with John are very interested in him coming and bringing his framework and investing in their cities. And because we've experienced this in countries, one saying, well, why can't this be done on a smaller level, on a smaller scale? And so John Maxwell Leadership Foundation has decided to invest in 100 communities in the United States. They would love 100 communities to partner with them if they want to. They're looking for 10,000 US cities just to participate, not in any kind of official partnership, but just do transformation tables and use the method that he's got. So we're trying to bring together 80,000 people in Greater Dayton around common values, and that's done at the tables, common values, and then good actions, good values, and then we launch into good actions together to positively impact individuals and communities by using the John Maxwell Leadership Foundation's respected brand, extensive research, and this is all free, guys. They're not asking for any money. Dr. Maxwell goes around the world raising billions and billions of dollars to fund humanitarian work all over the world, and now he's starting to invest in the United States. So they have established resources, they've got a proven community transformation framework, but he wants to partner with local communities that have commitment, innovation, connections, and strategies. And we believe that Dayton has all of that. We know Dayton has all of that. So we're looking for leaders in all streams of influence to say, hey, I like this concept. Let's talk. We started this about a year ago. And one of the things they said, okay, get some leaders together and get some people at tables and let's see. So they're just going to show the first part of this little tiny video here, just to kind of show this one little quick testimony.
Hello, I'm Leah Sparling, and I work in the nonprofit sector. And for the last 6 weeks, I've been a part of a transformation table. What I loved about my experience was the simple yet bold impact the table made in me in just a few short weeks. It's deeply personal and encouraging, even gratifying, to see progress each week using the rating and self-reflection tools. I believe anyone and everyone could and should experience lasting change using this method. I deeply appreciated my experience. Thank you so much.
And this is we've gathered lots of testimonies. I think you've got a page of them, some of them that are at your table. But yeah, one of the first meetings we did when we started talking about this was in Xenia, out at Athletes in Action on their campus. And there were different people from the Xenia community that came to hear about it. And one of them was a guy by the name of Rob. And I remember talking to him afterwards. And he goes, "Yeah, I don't think so, Christy. I don't think so." It's like, okay, well, you're welcome at any time. So when we put a table together in the area where he lived, they said, contact him and see if he wants to join. And so we contacted him and he wanted to join the table. And then this is what he says afterwards. It's like, okay, I learned so much about how to be a better leader, and I met people that, so we've got all kinds of testimonies. And then I just want to see the next, Beth, you could go ahead and go to the next testimony, because this, you're not gonna be able to read all this, but I just want you actually to see the picture of this gal. She's young and she works for an art in the arts. And I think her testimony is on the paper, so you don't need to read it up here, but I just gotta tell you, young people are really drawn to this, being able to sit down. I did a table with a hospital administrator, 2 former executives who became pastors, and then a young millennial who's in the sports world. And he was so fascinated to be able to sit for an hour a week, just for 6 weeks, with these amazing men and learn from them. And it's just, he said it's just changed his life. So anyway, so this is for all ages. It's not just for old people. Okay. Here, change begins within. That's why we sit at the table. Transformation begins with me first, and then spreads to communities. Transformation tables are about bridges that people need to cross, bridges that people need to build. And I thought of one the other day, because I was, as a result of a table I was with, bridges that some people need to burn. You know, they need to stop crossing certain bridges. And there was some real awareness at the table that I was at that made me think I need to add that. Here's a simple explanation of a table. That's me. That's you. Cool.
Why are well-educated, intelligent people struggling to succeed in the workplace or university setting? Being taught leadership and putting it into practice are 2 different things. John C. Maxwell believes that leading oneself well is the most challenging aspect of leadership. The process of developing soft skills like integrity, listening, attitude, initiative, and personal growth is a great start to leadership development. A methodology that emphasizes personal reflection in the action step increases the effectiveness. The transformation tables methodology is incredibly successful in this regard because its very format sets the scene for a different type of engagement with growth. The transformation tables method uses a peer-to-peer small group design where everyone participates, calls for personal reflection that drives one small positive change each week, meets weekly for 1 hour, is facilitated rather than taught, and has a multiplying effect. The format puts every participant on equal ground. Each person in the group is expected to participate, and their voice is wanted and needed to optimize the development experience. Instead of communication being one way, it is a group participation activity which reinforces the learning process. What do transformation tables look like in most communities? A leader chooses to participate in and deploy transformation tables as a leadership development tool. Consistency compounds as the result of weekly positive action steps begin to add up. Families, workplaces, and communities are positively impacted. A common language that shapes the community culture is developed, and measurable results that drive positive performance are observed. Simply put, transformation tables change lives from the inside out and produce a ripple effect that can build toward lasting positive change in all streams of influence.
So I don't know if any of you are familiar with the statement that Dan Cathy from Chick-fil-A, former CEO of Chick-fil-A, said. He said, like, we know we're not going to change the world with a chicken sandwich, but we sure can, care for the people who come in, ease their burdens a little bit, and feed them good food, and blah, 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 blah. So here's my spin on that. Well, we know we're not going to solve all of the Miami Valley's problems, okay, with the transformation table, but we sure can welcome the voices of thousands in our communities who meet around tables, from the C-suites to those on the streets. And we do have tables going on in all 3 prisons now. the women's prison with 1,000 women, WCI Warren County in Lebanon. And they all feel seen, heard, and valued as they contribute, because everyone at the table is a contributor. They grow personally, and then we're ultimately going to come together to collaborate and transform our communities. So, here we go. This was something that, when I look at, I've seen countries transform the governments, and I've seen, I know it's hard to say, because I remember meeting with some city council members, and they go, well, now, how are we all going to come together? Because Beavercreek is so different from Trotwood. Trotwood is so different from downtown Dayton. Xenia is different from Beaver, and it is, we're all different. We all have our own cultures and our own leaders and our own projects, but we have a lot of things in common too. And when I ask these leaders, well, does Oakland have this kind of problem? Yeah. Does Beavercreek have this kind of problem? Yeah. Does Dayton, Xenia, so there are things we can collaborate on and attack and be better together. And here's the thing too, never doubt, Margaret Mead said this, I love it, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Everything starts small. Everything starts with an idea. It starts with 1 or 2 people, and then it just grows. So that's what we're just crazy. So their maximum method is 4 steps, and it's a discovery, develop, design, and deploy once a community partners with Dr. Maxwell and the foundation. We are in the pre-discovery phase right here. Here's Dayton over here. And what we're doing right now is laying a foundation of transformation tables. Because if the leaders go first, they test out the model, they buy into it, they love it, then we move forward. If it isn't something that the community leaders want to be a part of, and there aren't enough that want to be a part of it, then we'll just be one of those 10,000 communities that has tables going on. Okay, but we won't have the investment of the foundation. And this is what a table is like. These are just some professional women just sit around a table and meet 6 weeks, for 1 hour. It is one, we keep it, the test tables they're having us do right now are just 6 lessons. There are 30 values lessons. We're just testing 6 and doing with 6 people at a table so that we can get it done in an hour. Because you know how busy you are as leaders? Yeah, who's got time for any more than that? And it's really even hard for people to find that much time. Okay, here, so 500 leaders from over 75 different organizations have participated in tables so far in the greater Dayton area. Okay, so we've made some headway. Some of these organizations, maybe some of you are part of them. Kettering Health, Sinclair, law enforcement. I gave you a list. So the full list is at your table. You can see this, but it's really encouraging and really great to see. Okay, so how to get involved? I'd love you to participate in the table. I'd love you to join us at the table and then experience it, and then maybe facilitate a table, invite 4 other people to join you at one. We need advocates. We need people who understand the vision and just have a heart for wanting to make a difference and are willing to collaborate with other leaders in the greater Dayton area to do that. So we need people to share the vision at church with the organizations, other leaders, and with this movement is growing, and it's really, I tell people, it's getting heavier and heavier for me to carry. And John always says, one's too small a number. So I'm putting together a team, and we lost 2 team members. One had to move to Alabama, and the other one, her husband needs her in his business. So it's like, okay, we're putting together a team. So we need advisors. We need people to help us strategize, operate. All of the content and the table stuff is done on an app on your phone. So there's no, and there's no prep for a table. There's no follow up after the table other than your small little action step. But and then we need volunteer help too. So I would love for you to contact me, bring me your card if you're in any way, shape, or form interested in joining a table and evaluating it, and then we can help you if you want to take it down to churches or your organizations or your companies or just your groups of friends. But it's a really significant thing, and I think, You know, when I started with, my table at the chamber with Dawn and Pete and Mindy and Chris, I was sitting there so many days, every day I look forward to, we just did it at lunch, because we said, we're all busy, be here for an hour, so I went to the chamber. I could see, you know, the impact that it was having on all of us, and it was such an encouragement to be a part of that group in Beavercreek. And I just said, you know, I've gone, so last year, they were like the first table that I did with any city council, and now I'm doing one with the city of Xenia, Brent Merriman and Jared Holloway and the mayor over there. I'm talking to Fairborn superintendents, and so we've got, you know, I'm going community to community and just giving people that are interested in that community an opportunity to get involved in it. So I'd love to have the table. Join us if you can. Let's see. I think that's it. You can call me, text me, email me anytime. We'll be free. Like here, next step, don't forget, join the table and then expand the table. So if you want, we've got a Google form that you can fill out if you're interested in a table, and just tell us like what time of day or which day of the week would work for you guys, and who you want to be in a table with. Sometimes people like to be in tables with people that they work with. Other people say, no, I mean, people with people I don't even know. And then somebody else will say, well, I want to be in a table with a bunch of first responders or whatever. So, you know, the table is just, you know, you can decide who you want at your table, or you can just ask me to put you in a table on a certain day and time when you have availability. So this little Google form here will just do the scanning that will tell you, you tell me a little bit about you, and then I'll hook you up with who you want to be at the table. It's really kind of interesting. And remember, you don't need to worry about changing the world. If you can just make things better for someone in your world, you'll experience the reality, joy, and satisfaction of making a difference. This came from John's book called Change Your World. And that's really where it all started. He wrote that book at the beginning of the launch of all these initiatives. So God bless you guys. Thanks for being patient with me. I feel like I was standing in front of the presentation the whole time. So but anyway, thank you. And Sochi, right? I met with Cassie. Yeah.
And so through Women in Christian Leadership that's on your.
Yes.
And a picture with Jeannie Porter.
You know Jeannie?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm involved in that group. So, yeah, so they're doing it
Yes.
within Women in Christian Leadership.
We do have about 8 organizations who have already signed on and said, okay, we are taking this to our leadership team and then down lines. And Women in Christian Leadership is one, the prisons are another, Miami Valley Leadership Foundation is another. Yeah, just wonderful. So we'd love to work with you. And it doesn't require, like I say, there's no money. We're not asking for money. Everything's free. And the investment from the Maxwell Foundation will be free as well. So we just participate. Any questions? Any questions? Yes. We spend when and if there are enough people in the greater Dayton area that have tested the table and buy into the model, the methodology, then they will ask us to partner with them. And they'll ask me to put together a cabinet of leaders. And I want Beavercreek at the table. A cabinet of about 18 to 24 leaders from the area. They will work with Maxwell's Foundation to do research. Our community has tons of research about our community, but Maxwell Foundation also contracts with people and does their own research. And then we will start a process of meeting with them. They'll come here. We'll do meetings, probably monthly meetings, and we'll identify areas where we really believe that we could all collaborate and make a difference in the needle. John just really is impatient with activity without movement and permanent movement. So it's kind of the transition into collective action. Values first, unity, action. It is personal growth, but there's so much more that happens at a table. You meet all kinds of people. I have people now that are doing business together. I have people that are doing ministry together. Yeah. So, but personal growth is definitely happens there. Transformation. No, I want to get you out of here. Anything else? All right, see you personally. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Christy. We appreciate that. Okay, so as is our custom, we are donating a book to the community library in Christy's honor. The Little Ghost Who Was a Quilt. Sounds about my reading level. Okay. Bill Donahue. So just so you know clearly that most of you who are too young for that, Phil Donahue is the name you can Google for, and that's for the reference that my wife. All right.
I was just curious, are we all gonna get a bag of Mike Sells potato chips?
All right.
Anyway.
Everything's back on track. So our next meeting, we have Kelly West, Skydive Green County will be our speaker. So consider inviting a guest or prospective member. We think we still need 2 volunteers to greet for that. So somebody show up and greet. And keep an eye on upcoming programs at beavercreekrotary.com and Facebook. Anything else for the good of the club? Eric?
I was just gonna say that when, our speaker was talking about, facilitated sessions, that we put on in the district a program called Rotary Leadership Institute, which is a series of 3 full-day facilitated sessions. And we've had a number of our members that have attended, David Brandenburg, Don Adams, I think Beth's going the next time, and a few others. Shannon is one of my facilitators in that program, so.
I am the facilitator of the program.
So if you're interested, it's a great program. Unfortunately, or fortunately, we have sold out part 1. So if you haven't ever been, you can't register for part 1. Because we sold it out, and it's like not until November.
Okay, so this is a great idea. You can attend. Thank you. So anybody who would still be able to volunteer sometime tomorrow between 9 and 11, even if it's a brief period, please call or text me or and let me know, and we'll be happy to have your assistance. All right, well, if everyone will rise for the pledge, please. Kristen, would you lead us, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.